Now we're going to start to paint. And to paint with light first starts with placing your camera, our A camera. So let's roll in our A camera, which is on the dolly. And we talked about being able to push in. So why don't you come help me here? What's your name again?
Zach.
Zach. We're going to move this butcher block because it's in our way. So let's slide this over here. Okay, and we'll get our dolly in. So we'll drive right in here. I love how this dolly's got roundy round. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. Okay. All right, line us up so we got that. Now we're gonna have to get this butcher block completely out of here, Zach. So you and I are gonna be set deck. This thing weighs like 92,000 pounds. Ooh, we'll put it right underneath here. Nice. Okay, so we've set our A camera. We're getting that all dialed in. And, but before we can really start to paint, because we're talking shaft technology, we need to start smoking this house up. So we're gonna get our DF50 cracking. All right, bring in that smoker. We're gonna put that over in the corner here where our shaft of light is. And let's put it on this carpet so it doesn't drip all over the joint. Okay, we'll put it right there. Plug it into the wall. Okay. And we'll hit the switch. This is a DF50 fogger. It's by far the best diffusion fogger in the business. I love it. So now we're gonna close the doors. We're gonna get that thing cooking. Now we're gonna move on to our first stroke, which is our key light. All right, look at my amazing team here, ready to deploy the DIY sports fixtures. Let's talk a little bit about these lights. We have a spot, which is a very shallow light, and then we have the flood, which is a deeper source. So these lights are about $300. The spot packs the wallop of a 4K par, and the flood packs the wallop of an 1800 watt par. So we're going to use the spots for the shafts, and we're going to use the floods for our beautiful natural light bounce. So let's start grabbing our fixtures. So we'll grab our 3 floods, and then we're going to bounce these off of our Lowe's insulation board. So I want to be able to make this like an 8x8 source. Wow, that's bright. We're gonna have to peel this off so we lose the blue layer, and my team will go through and start to pull that off while we get set in the back. All right, Zach, take care of that. Start peeling that off. We're getting our lights around the side. 2 C-stands. Head in here. First, we'll start with setting our bounce, and then you guys will come in with the fixtures. Now, I want this light to be as bright as possible. So I'm gonna probably take the screens off to start with. So, because this can be anywhere from a half to a full stop. So we'll put those over here. Thank you very much, Jorge. All right, so we've pulled the screens off. Now we're gonna get our board in here. So, all right. Now, I'm looking at where our actress is gonna sit, and I don't want that light to be too sidey. So I'm gonna wanna bring it around probably right about here. So let's set that C-stand right here so it can wrap into the room. Okay, let's bag that baby. Nice. All right, now let's get on our other white card and we'll set another C-stand with that. All right, let's flip that around. Nice, Kevin. Slide it underneath there. Okay. All right, so now we got a really nice, big, bright, white 8x8 source. Let's start bringing in our DIY floodlights. And we'll start putting them like this and driving them into this source. Now, I've retrofitted these DIYs. These, I've taken the ballast off of the head, so it weighs less than 10 pounds. Now, you can do all this if you're kind of an electrical motorhead. You can kind of get in there, take the ballast off of the head, and put it in these nifty Pelican cases that you see here that are kind of nice. So it's in a Pelican case, it's got a head extension, and we're all set to go. All right, go ahead and plug that ballast in there. Okay, let's go ahead and power these up. Okay, now here is the one that the ballast has not been taken and separated from the head. So you can see how it's pretty darn compact. You just need to take this, separate those electronics, and then run a head extension to the head. But we're gonna show you what it looks like in its natural form. And we'll put this right here. Let's get a wrench. We need a channel lock so we can tilt this up. So let's go ahead and strike these ballasts. 1 on, 2 on. Okay, beautiful. Now we're just waiting for the third, which we can start powering up. Now, DIY has all of its drawbacks, right? If you take a light that you can buy for $300, there's some drawbacks to this fixture. The biggest drawback is if you turn it on and you turn it off, it's gonna take about 15 minutes for this light to cool down before you can strike it again. So you wanna make sure your ballasts are in a place that they're not gonna get kicked, that your ballasts are in a place that you don't have to move around, and that if this light is in the shot for any reason, because it's the furthest one away, maybe you're gonna wanna put an extension cord on it. So if we do have to really move it far and we have to unplug it after it's gotten really hot, then you're talking about downtime. So it's all about trying to set yourself up for success with this DIY scenario. So we'll plug in and we will knot it so it doesn't come apart, and that should ignite this light, which it has. So these things are warming up. They take about 10 minutes to come up to temp. So you gotta let them take the time to come up to speed. So let me have that channel lock and we'll do a little adjustment. You wanna try it? It'll be going that way, right? Oh, there we go, great. All right, now we should be able to tilt it up. Rocking, there we go. All right, now tighten that baby. There's not all these beautiful adjustable bails and all that stuff with our DIY scenario. You kind of have to work with what the light is. This one I've adapted so we can pan and tilt and do everything like a normal light, which costs another couple $100 to convert, but we also have this one, so it's ready to go. And you can see these babies are already starting to get some good punch going on them. Let's go inside and see what that looks like. Right now, what I can see is there's too much light in the kitchen. I got this beautiful key light on Eli, but my eye is not driven to her. So I wanna take this light down that's in the foreground here. So remember what we learned from the light switches, we have ultimate control. So let's turn this off and see what that does for us. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm gonna look through my different lookup tables. Now we talked about this being kind of a warm scene and very inviting. She's just learned that she has got this awesome promotion. We're gonna be pushing in on this lens and she's gonna kind of be looking down in thought and then all of a sudden looks up and has a beautiful smile. So this is gold right here, which is looking kind of good, but I feel like our color temperature is wrong. So let's change our color temperature on our A camera to 5600, please. So that's brought it in, so now she goes very gold. But we're gonna want the shafts to be a little more warmer and we're gonna want the daylight to be a little cooler. So let's go to 4200, Roger. Okay, I think that's a nice balance. We got a nice creamy side to her from the daylight, and that's pretty strong, and our outside is almost clipping. So let's stop down a little. You're at a 2.8, so let's stop down, go to a 4. All right. Now, I got a nice kind of white light on her face here. By going to a 4, we dropped this light in the foreground, so her eye is really going to her. Now, what I think we need to do is throw some ND in. Let's put an ND3 in there so we can be wide open on that lens. Now, I do see that we have some sunlight that's kind of dancing down in the corner of our frame. So we might have to put what I call a shelf over the window so we can take that out. And we might want to diffuse this light even more on her so it becomes even creamier.